Have you lost your weight loss motivation and want to know how to get it back? I'm going to share a psychological theory that explains 4 key reasons people lose motivation for weight loss, and I bet at least one of these will explain why you're struggling. There are heaps and heaps of YouTube videos with weight loss motivation tips, but on their own, tips can be like a sticking plaster. Going to the gym with a friend may keep you going for a while, but when your friend gets busy with work and can't go anymore, your low motivation is still lurking underneath. But if you understand why you've lost your motivation for weight loss in the first place, you'll also be able to fix it. So in this video, I'm going to help you get under the surface and become your own motivation expert. And what's great about all this is that it doesn't just apply to weight loss motivation. Lose your motivation in anything, and this theory will help you get it back. I'm Dr. Paula Watson. I'm a Liverpool-based psychologist providing therapy for people struggling with weight, disordered eating and exercise. This is the 10th video in my weight loss psychology series where I'm sharing truth 9 of 10 hard truths that will help you understand why you struggle with weight and help you feel less alone. So please check out my other videos in the series, particularly the intro if you haven't watched that yet. I've linked to it below. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more content linked to the psychology of weight. The truth I'm talking about today is that motivation is complex. I'm going to explain this with some key points from self-determination theory, which was founded by Professor Edward Deci, who sadly passed away last month, and Professor Richard Ryan. As a psychologist, this is one of my favorite theories because it makes so much sense in everyday life. It just helps me understand myself, and just knowing these key points helps me stay motivated in most things I do. And everything I'm telling you in the next 14 minutes is supported by hundreds and hundreds of research studies across the world. Our cultures might be very different, but there's some elements of human psychology that are pretty universal. So before we get onto the 4 reasons people lose motivation, I need you to understand the central point of self-determination theory. It's not the quantity of motivation that counts, it's the quality of motivation. So you might have heaps and heaps of motivation, but if it's not the most healthy type of motivation, it's not going to help you feel good and it's not going to help you reach your goals. So let's imagine 3 hypothetical people, Wendy, Alma, and John. We can map the motivation on this graph, which has got quantity of motivation on the left, so how much motivation they have, and quality of motivation on the bottom, so how helpful the motivation is. Wendy has no motivation for weight loss. She's not getting anywhere, she sees no point, so she's given up entirely. Alma is still trying with her exercise and healthy eating, so she's got some motivation, but she's not really enjoying it anymore. She's frustrated because she's not seeing progress. She keeps feeling a pressure to keep going because it's her 40th birthday at the end of the month and she really needs to fit into her new dress. Alma's got a high quantity of motivation, but this is low quality. We call this controlled motivation because Alma is feeling controlled by the outcomes she's working towards, which in this case is looking good for her birthday. The minute her birthday is over, though, Alma's likely to give up. Now, John is really enjoying his exercise and healthy eating as it's giving him more energy, he feels physically and mentally healthier, and he's sleeping better. His lifestyle feels like a choice he wants to do and something he feels he can keep going with. He's got both a high quantity of motivation, but also a high quality of motivation. We call this autonomous motivation because it feels like his own choice to do this. It's likely John will keep going in the long term. So controlled motivation, like Alma was feeling, is about pressure. It's about feelings of should. It's about thoughts like, I have to do this, else I'll feel ashamed. Autonomous motivation, like John's feeling, is about choice. It's about feelings of wanting to and thoughts like, it's important to me to do this because it makes me feel good. Now, don't worry if your experience doesn't match any of these exactly. If you've lost weight loss motivation, it's likely there'll be elements of Wendy's, Alma's, and John's experiences that resonate with you. But my goal in this video is to help you start moving to a place where your weight loss motivation feels more like John. Because studies show it's autonomous motivation that keeps us mentally well and it keeps us persevering when things get tough. Now, let me make clear, when I'm talking about weight loss motivation, I'm talking about motivation for the approach to weight loss that is healthy, sustainable, and lifelong. This is the hardest type of weight loss, and because of the time it takes, staying motivated is one of the toughest things. But it's the approach that works for both our physical and mental health. And if you'd like to learn more about this, check out my sustainable weight loss video. So, to understand why you've lost weight loss motivation, we need to consider what leads to autonomous motivation in the first place, which is the high quality motivation where we feel like we want to do something. Self-determination theory suggests there are 3 psychological needs we all need to experience, otherwise our motivation and our well-being will suffer. These are autonomy, so we need to feel like something's our choice. We need to understand why we're doing it and value our reasons for doing it. Competence, we need to feel capable and need to feel a sense of achievement. And relatedness, we need to feel connected to other people and like they're supportive of our weight loss process. There's also a 4th element that self-determination theory suggests is important for autonomous motivation. And this is that we need to believe in the process and how it links to the outcome. So essentially, you need to believe that the changes you're making to your exercise and diet are going to actually help you lose weight. And you need to feel that losing weight is important to you. If you don't believe that a certain weight loss approach is going to actually help you lose weight, you'd have no motivation for it, like our hypothetical character Wendy earlier. And as I've been talking through these, you might already have started to get some ideas on why you're lacking motivation. My guess is that if you've lost motivation for weight loss, it's because you're not feeling at least one of these 4 things, possibly more. Because if any one of these things is missing, we know that motivation suffers. So let's look at each one in turn. And if this applies to you, I'll share what you might do to get out of your motivation lump. The first reason you might lose weight loss motivation is if you're feeling a lack of autonomy. So are you feeling you should eat healthily or exercise but not really enjoying it? Are you only doing it for like an external goal, such as looking good at a wedding or reaching X amount of stone on the scales? Is the weight loss process starting to feel like a chore or a pressure, a weight on your shoulders? If you've answered yes to any of these, you're likely experiencing a lack of perceived autonomy. You're likely feeling controlled by your weight loss process rather than feeling like it's something you're choosing to do. Now, how can you fix this? Firstly, write a list of the reasons for wanting to lose weight. Think about why it's important to you, how your weight impacts you now on your daily life, and how life could be different if you lost a bit of weight. A helpful way to do this can be imagine yourself at the junction of 2 paths. So one path shows you what life's like in like 1 year, 5 years, 10 years if you keep making decisions that prevent you losing weight. The other path shows you what life could look like in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years if you continue with your lifestyle changes and consequently lose some weight. So try to focus on reasons other than what you look like or just your weight. Think about what difference being more active and eating healthier has for what you can do, for how you feel in yourself, and for social interactions with others. Secondly, think about how you can rekindle the enjoyment in your exercise and food. Perhaps you're being too restrictive with your food, or perhaps your exercise routine's too repetitive. Perhaps you're putting too much pressure on yourself to be perfect. Remember, lifestyle change is about progress, not perfection. And if you're not enjoying the process, you're never going to keep it up. So be kind to yourself and take the pressure off. The second reason you might lose weight loss motivation is if you're feeling a lack of competence. So are you feeling like the weight loss process is just too hard? Perhaps you're finding the process strangely easy, and this is filling you with self-doubt that you're going to fail at any minute. Have people stopped complimenting you and you're no longer feeling like you're achieving anything? If you answered yes to any of these, you may be experiencing a lack of perceived competence. You're either feeling the challenge is too hard or the challenge is too easy, and you're not getting any sense of achievement. This can be particularly difficult in that kind of middle phase of weight loss. So the honeymoon period is over, your weight might have started to plateau, and you've stopped receiving so many compliments from people. So understandably, it's making you lose confidence in your ability to continue. And as we know, if you lose confidence, you lose motivation. So check out my video on low confidence and weight loss if you feel this resonates with you. How do you fix this? Firstly, remind yourself that lifestyle change takes time. And actually, for successful long-term change, it isn't exciting, it isn't quick, and it isn't going to give you daily positive feedback. I always think of one of my clients who was struggling with the difficult middle phase of weight loss. And they said, I keep thinking I'm not progressing because I'm not changing anything. But I've realized the fact that I'm not changing anything means I am progressing. Because long-term weight loss is about consistency. It's about sticking with what works for you, and it's about keeping doing it. So write this quote down, stick it somewhere you can see it, and keep the faith. You're doing great. Secondly, start taking notice of your little wins. A great way to do this is to write yourself a daily credit or a daily proud of me moment. Something small you've done, however small, to take you towards your weight loss goal. So this might be watching this video about motivation, or it might be deciding to cook your evening meal one night instead of getting a takeaway. As we talked about just now, every single decision you make towards that healthy path is a step in the right direction. So reminding yourself of this daily will help you see you really are doing better than you think. The third reason you might lose weight loss motivation is if you're feeling a lack of relatedness or a lack of connection with others. So is there someone in your family or your friend group who you don't feel is very supportive of your weight loss? Perhaps you feel you don't have anyone to talk to about how you're feeling. Or are your lifestyle changes making social occasions difficult for you? For instance, if you don't want to drink alcohol, or perhaps you'd rather not go to McDonald's for the third time in a row. If you answered yes to any of these, you may be experiencing a lack of perceived relatedness, which can make us start to question our goals and feel like giving up. So, how to fix this? Firstly, talk to your friends and family openly about the approach you're taking and why it's important to you. My clients often feel afraid to tell others what they're going through, perhaps because they feel shame about seeking therapy for something they feel they should be able to manage themselves. But when they do share with others, I see a great weight lifts off their shoulders. You can almost see it visually, and they're no longer alone in their journey because the people you love can support you through it. Let them know how they can help you. If there's things you'd like them to do, or if there's things you'd like them to do less of. And for social occasions, don't be afraid to stick to what you know works for you. This is your journey, and it's okay to set your own boundaries. If you've got friends who can't accept this, they're perhaps not people you want to be around anyway. Your true friends will stick with you and will be supportive all the way. Secondly, sometimes, as well-meaning as they are, your friends and your family just aren't gonna get it. And this is where speaking to a professional like a weight loss psychologist like myself can help. It takes great strength to reach out. And I can honestly say, many of my clients find it a life-changing experience. Because one of the most beneficial things about therapy is actually knowing someone's in your corner and they get it. So if you're interested, I've linked to my video about CBT for weight loss in case you'd like to understand more about what this is about, or you can drop me an email. I offer free discovery chats. The fourth reason you might lose weight loss motivation is if you're doubting the connection between the process and the outcome, i.e., whether the exercise and dietary changes you're making are actually working. Do you feel like your exercise and diet aren't having any effect on your weight? Does weight loss feel too slow, or have you plateaued? You're starting to doubt whether weight loss is really worth it at all. If you answered yes to any of these, you may be struggling to trust the process, which naturally can make us wonder whether it's all worth it. So how do you fix this? Firstly, try and identify some different ways of tracking your progress than weight. So if we only focus on weight as the outcome, we're always going to be disappointed because weight isn't something we can directly control. Check out my video about listening to your body, not your brain, to understand more about this. Instead, focus on what you can control and measure progress linked to that. For example, if you're lifting weights, how does what you're doing now compare to when you started? Or if you're eating healthier now, what impact has this had on your energy, on your sleep, or on how you're feeling yourself? If your confidence has grown, What are you doing now that previously a weight would have held you back from? Secondly, consider if perhaps you've slipped in what you're doing. Is there a reason that your weight's plateaued? So are you still eating as healthily and keeping up the same exercise routine you were when you started? What was it that helped you stick to things initially? Is there something you could bring back that you're not doing anymore? Or is there something small you could change that could help you feel like you're moving forward? And remember, any changes you make need to be sustainable, enjoyable, and they need to feel achievable so that you can give yourself that sense of competence we talked about earlier. So, bringing all this together, we've talked about 4 key reasons you might have lost your weight loss motivation. Let me know in the comments below which of these resonate for you. So, do you think you've been lacking a sense of autonomy, competence, or relatedness? Or have you been losing faith in the whole process? And if you want to stay motivated for life, remember these concepts. Because when all 4 of these things are satisfied, you feel autonomous, you feel competent, you feel related to others, and you trust in the process. You'll experience the high quality motivation that's going to keep you happy, going to keep you successful in your weight loss journey. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to catch the final video in my weight loss psychology series, which is about the fact that it is difficult to do all this alone.